Okay. So now third property is that average gene frequency remains constant from generation to generation. So in means if you are, if we ask for multiple choice question type, so that can become that which of the following is true regarding the sex linked gene. So that average gene frequency will remain constant from generation to generation. Male is completely determined from by the female. Female is completely determined by the male. So that is wrong. So like this question can come in the examination. Now we will see that average gene frequency will remain constant from generation to generation. So if I write this Q bar is, I consider that average gene frequency, and average gene frequency will be 1 by 3 Qx plus twice Q double X. So this is I'm writing because there will be means or if I consider to, so there will be three different genotypes will be there for the male as well as female. So this will be the average gene frequency from the so average gene frequency will be 1 by 3 Qx plus 2. Now I will, if I want to cross check it, so just see 1 upon 3. And what is Qx? कोई बता सकता है what is Qx if I consider the previous generation? It is of male and it is of female. So what it will be if I consider the previous parent generation? Tell me.
Q prime double X.
Q prime double X. And plus this will be the average of Q prime X plus Q prime double X. So this will cancel out and we will remain with Q 1 by 3 Q prime X plus twice Q prime double X. So this is again, see, so this is again the same. We have written here 1 by 3 Qx plus 2 Qxx. So again, if this is in parent generation, see, this is the average gene frequency in parent generation, and this is average gene frequency in which generation? Offspring generation. So this will remain constant from generation to generation. Now if I want to check the third, then Q is equal to for grandparent, so it will come Q double prime X plus twice Q double prime double X. So this is for grandparent generation. Okay, so this will be remain constant from generation to generation. So the statement is average gene frequency will remain constant from generation to generation. Okay, now fourth results. The difference of gene frequency of two sexes is reduced by half in each generation of random mating with change of sign. So his statement is what? The difference of gene frequency of two sexes is reduced by half in each generation of random mating with change of sign. What is his meaning with change of sign? Let's see. This is the statement, and we will say that if this is female frequency, if difference of gene frequency of two sex, suppose female means the frequency of female is greater than the frequency of male in one generation, Okay, so this will be opposite in the next generation. So it will be like frequency of male will be greater than to the frequency of female. So this is another important result regarding this fourth result. Okay, so if in one generation the frequency of male female is greater than to the frequency of male, so in next generation that will be opposite, that the frequency of male offspring will be greater than the frequency of female offspring. So this is in next generation. So if I write it symbolically, so this will be d difference of this female minus male. This will be minus of half q prime double x minus q prime x. Okay, so see here, statement is the difference of gene frequency. So this is difference of gene frequency of two sexes reduced by half. So it is reduced by half in each generation of random mating with the change of sign. So this sign is changed. So if I write this parent population, so this will be qxx minus qx prime is equal to minus half of q double prime double x minus q double prime x. So all the result you can prove, but I am not doing the proofs here because it will be a bit lengthy, because we have to change this frequency according to the determination of male and female. Okay, then so this is I think this is okay, that the difference of gene frequency of two sex will reduce by half with the same sign change and each generation to generation. Or this is another important result, that if in one generation female is greater than to the male, then in next generation definitely it will be opposite, that male frequency will be greater than to the female frequency. Now next is, now see here, if suppose d is equal to 0, what is this meaning d is equal to 0? That q x is equal to q double x is equal to qx. What is meaning? That male, the frequency of female is equal to the frequency of male. Then we can say that population is in equilibrium. Male frequency is equals to the female frequency. So if d is very large, then the large number of generations will requires to attain equilibrium. So this difference is 0, then we can say that this population is in equilibrium. Now if d, the difference is very large, so we can say large number of generation will require to attain the equilibrium. Okay, so these are the results regarding this fourth property. Then the fifth one, if q bar is the common equilibrium, if I can say q bar is common equilibrium, or we can say it is average gene frequency. Then any generation deviation from equilibrium is twice as greater as qxx with the change of sign. So what is the meaning? That deviation from the average value. Deviation from the average value of male is equal to twice of the deviation from the female, but with the change of sign. Okay, so this is what, if I write the statement, that in any generation deviation from equilibrium this is what this is deviation from the equilibrium or from average gene population of male gene frequency at each age great H twice is twice H sorry, is twice as the deviation from of female gene frequency. Okay, so this is the statement of this property with the sign change. So sign change, this will be minus twice qxx minus qr. Okay, now if I want to find this for the parent generation, then it will be qx minus qr is equal to twice minus q this minus q. Okay, now next property, and this one is last property of this, the deviation from either sex is half in each generation. Now if I want to take the deviation, see qx minus q bar is equal to, that will be half with the sign of change, and if I am taking from the male of the previous generation. See the difference here. Here I am taking the same generation, means same generation male, same generation female. Okay, same generation, but I here I am taking different, means m- male of the offspring generation and male of the parent generation. So this will be half from the previous generation. Similarly, if I write for female, then this will be like minus half q prime xx minus q. Okay, so this is the deviation from our average gene frequency of male is half in the next generation with the deviation of the previous year parents. Okay, so these are some properties regarding this sex linked gene. So with this we have completed our Hardy-Weinberg law. So now I will take a few questions regarding Hardy-Weinberg law and all. Just for example, if I take example of the sex linked gene, so suppose male gene frequency is given and female gene frequency is given, and male gene frequency is A is given as zero point 0.4, zero point 0.6. Okay, and female frequency is given as a small a, it is given as 0.70 and 0.30. This is my initial generation. Now if it is asked in the question that calculate the gene frequency of male as well as female for the fourth generation, for the generation 4, ठीक है, या फिर अगर in your objective exam if it is asked, then they can ask 1 or 2 generation. So I am telling you how to calculate for the generation 4. Now if I can calculate this generation 1, so what it will be, now tell me, कोई मुझे बता सकता है कैसे solve करेंगे? Tell me. Generation 1, the gene frequency of male, what it will be? See here, it will be same like this. because male is completely determined from the female. So directly I can write 0.70, 0.30. Okay, and female is determined by the both the parents, then it will be 0.40 plus 0.70 divided by 2, and here 0.60 plus 0.30 divided by 2. So this is for first generation. I am writing here 0.55 and here 0.45. Okay, so this is all about our generation 1. So likewise we can calculate for the other generation. So generation 2. So generation 2, this will be directly as it is for the male. So 0.55, 0.45. Okay, this can come in your mains examination. Means for 5 marks examination, that calculate the gene frequency for the fourth generation. So now it will be calculated as 0.570 plus 0.55 divided by 2. Similarly, 0.30 plus 0.45 divided by 2. Means if you know the concept, you can do it very easily. Okay, likewise for generation 3 and generation 4. Okay, now is there any doubt in this? You can ask me if is there any doubt then. Is there any doubt? Okay. Now we will see some question on means for just a minute. Let me find the question. Okay. Same for sex-linked gene. I will tell one question. Just tell me if, for example, question is for a certain sex-linked trait, the proportion of recessive individual among females. So the question is giving us that for the sex-linked gene trait, the proportion of recessive individuals among female is 19.36%. Okay, this is the information which is given. Now the question is what percent of males would you expect to show this trait? Which trait? The recessive trait or sex-linked trait. That how many means how what percent of male would you expect to show this sex-linked trait? So the proportion of recessive individual for female it is given. Now tell me, can anyone tell me how to calculate this? बता सकता है कोई आइडिया? यस और नो तो बोलो. Okay, no response. Now as we know that for female our setup of frequencies like this, and this is p square 2pq and q square. Okay, and for male it is a small a and this is pq. Now this is the proportion of recessive individuals among female is given 19.36. So what it is given in the question, this is given q square 19.36%. So I can write q square is equal to 0.1936. Okay, So this q will be, if I take q will be 0.1936, so this q will be almost 0.44. Now if we see that in male, if we see that this will be the same for the next generation, so we can say that this 44% of male will show this trait. Okay, simple question. Just remember this, that what proportion is given, that proportion of recessive individual among female is given. So among female this is recessive and it is given. Now this recessive in male is what? Only q. So only q is 0.44. It means 44% male will show this trait. Okay, समझ में आ गया? कोई डाउट? कोई डाउट है तो पूछो. Is there any doubt? Now next, now we will move to the questions on Hardy-Weinberg law. Now suppose question is that initial population is given and the frequency is given 0.10, 0.20 and 0.70. Okay, now check, first of all check it is in equilibrium. Okay, if it is not, then what will be the frequency in next generation? Now who will tell me? I will ask from the audience. Anurag, are you there? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Tell me how we will do this. Sujata? Sujata, tell me how we will do this. If this frequency is given initial population, then how we will check is it in equilibrium or not?
Sir, we have to find the gene frequency.
Okay, first of all, let me tell you that we will consider as it DHR. If we don't know that it is in equilibrium or not, we will use this DHR, generalized. Now I tell you one important property, that the H square is equal to 4DR, isn't it? In equilibrium population, this, or I can write that the ratio of heterozygous to the square root of both the dominant, means both the this is dominant and recessive is constant, that is 2. So this will check. Now h square, h is what? 0.20, that is square, is equal to 4 into d is 0.10 and r is 0.70. Now we will check this. This will be 0.20 square, it will be 0.04, and this will be 4 into 0.1, 0.4 into 7.28. So this will be 0.28. So this is not equal. Okay, so it means it is not in equilibrium. So our initial generation, initial parent generation is not in video. Okay. Now in next generation, how we will calculate our frequencies? What is the value of P in terms of H and D? Tell me.
D plus half H.
Yes. Next generation, the frequency will be D plus H by 2. So P will be D is what? 0.1 plus 0.2 divided by 2, that is 0.10 plus 0.10 is equal to 0.20. Then Q will be directly I am writing 0.80. Okay. Now in next generation I can write like AA, small a, capital A, small a, small a, small a. Then this is P square, this is 2PQ, this is Q square. So P square is P is 0.2, then it will be 0.04, and this is 0.8, it means 0.64, and 2 into 0.4 into 0.64. So this will be 2PQ and this will be 0.32. You can calculate it. So this we got this P square, Q square, and 2PQ in next generation. Now I told you that we can replace it with like DHR. So now again we will check for the equilibrium. Then H square is equal to 4DR. Okay, so H square 0.32 square is equal to 4 into 0.04 into 0.64. So this will be 0.1024 and this will be 0.1024. You can check it. So we got this condition is fulfilled. So we can say only one generation is needed to be in equilibrium, and we have calculated this frequencies in the next generation. So in question in your MCQ exam, this can become that what will be the next gene frequency in the next generation. Okay, got it? कोई doubt है तो पूछो. If there is any doubt, you can ask me. Few more questions. So that this type of initial population can be given, and they can ask that what will be the gene frequency in next generation. Now this question is repeated for 2-3 times in the NET examination. These two questions are there. Now if it is given that what percentage of a random mating population showing 5% recessive is heterozygous. Now, who will solve this? Gaurav.
Yes, sir.
Tell me how we will solve this. What percentage of a random mating population will show 5% recessive, and that what percent? Now tell me what this question, what percent, which is the question is asking what? First of all, that it should be clear because it is confusing. that 5% recessive is heterozygous, or this question is asking about the heterozygous percentage. That's why this question's statement is little bit confusing. Tell me. So it is asking what percentage of heterozygous. Suppose,
Okay.
so this is asking what percentage of heterozygous of a random mating population which showing 5% recessive. So it is showing 5% recessive, and what is the frequency of recessive? What is the frequency of recessives? Q
Q square.
square. So this Q square is what? 5%. That is only the thing we have to decide. Then only I can calculate now. This will be Q is equal to under root 0.05. Afterward, I have to calculate frequency of heterozygous. That is 2PQ. Okay, then 2, 1 minus Q, because Q I know, and Q. Just a minute. So this H is equal to 2PQ, that 2, 1 minus Q into Q. So 2 into 1 minus under root 0.05 into under root 0.05. Simple. So now we will calculate this frequency and we will get that 34.7% will be the answer of this question. So 34% of the random mating population. So 34% of the random mating population, the population which is showing 5% recessive is heterozygous. Now there will be, see here, dominant, heterozygous and recessive. So this is 5%, this is 34.7%, and remaining will be the dominant. Okay, got it, Gaurav?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now next question is, these are important question. Now if there were 5% dominance, if there is 5% dominant, in the population, then what percentage, what would be the percentage of heterozygous? Who will tell? Tell me.
P square is equal to 5%.
Is it so? If P square is equal to 5%, okay, then P is equal to under root 0.05, then answer will be same like this, 2PQ. Then I can answer it 34.7%. This will be the first option in the exam. And you will calculate and we get the wrong answer. Now read it again carefully. in question it is not given that it is what. Generally it is given at that is dominant. So but we know that these two are dominant, isn't it or not?
Yes, sir.
If now it is given that 5% dominant homozygous are there, then we will say that p square is equal to p square is equal to 5%. But here now it is given that generally it is given 5% dominants are there in the population. So we will consider p square plus 2pq is equal to 5%. Okay, so this p square plus 2pq, and we know that p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1, and this will be q square is equal to 1 minus 0.05, then q square is equal to 0.95. Okay, this will be 0.95. Now I will get the q is as under root 0.95, and afterward I can calculate this heterozygous, that is 2 1 minus q into q, that is 2 1 minus under root 0.95 and under root 0.95. So I will get 4.936%. This is the percentage of heterozygous in the population. Okay, so these two questions are very confusing, and these are the repeated question in the NET examination. Now next question. Suppose there are one surveyor is there, and he surveyed 14,345 foxes. Okay, and among them 12 fox were black, 678 were intermediate, and 13,655 were red. So this data is given in question. Now they are asking that find the frequencies of black and red genes in the fox population. So they are asking the frequency of black and red genes. Okay, so how we will calculate? Simply tell me how we will calculate. Directly, first of all, this is given as like DHR. So D is what? 12, this is 678 and 13,655, and N is what? 14,345. So simply we can calculate the P is equal to D plus HY2 upon N. So from here I can calculate the gene frequency of, this will be black color, and this Q will be of gene frequency of red color. Simple. So I am writing direct answer 0.024 and 0.975 approximately. So this sum will be 1. You can check it. Okay. So these type of questions are there for the Hardy-Weinberg law. Any doubt? कोई डाउट है तो पूछो.
No, sir.
Okay. So we will move to the next topic, that is factors or forces affecting to the gene frequency. So this is another important topic regarding your questions and all, that is forces affecting gene frequency. So what was the definition of Hardy-Weinberg law? Gene and genotypic frequencies remain constant from generation to generation in the absence of systematic forces like mutation, migration, and selection. So these are the forces, and I am talking about that systematic forces. Now we will see what will be the effect of these systematic forces like mutation, migration, and selection. Okay, so these are the three different systematic forces. Okay, so various forces changing the gene frequencies are of two sorts, means there will be two different kind. First one is this will tend to change the frequency in a manner that can be predictable in both in magnitude as well as direction. So this type of forces tend to change the frequency in a manner that will be predictable in both the direction as well as magnitude. So what is the meaning of magnitude here? Magnitude meaning that delta Q means change in the frequency. And what is the meaning of direction? The gene frequency is increasing or decreasing. So this is direction. Increasing or decreasing. Okay. So this type of forces are known as systematic forces. Systematic forces, and example of systematic forces are mutation, migration, and selection. Okay, so this is one type of forces. Now we will see second type. This will be dispersive in nature, and they will arise in small population. Due to the sampling fluctuation. So this type of forces will be dispersive, means they can disperse the from the for the small population. The effect will be dispersive type. So, and this will be predictable in amount, or we can say in magnitude only, not in direction. Not in direction. And this type of forces are known as genetic drift. So genetic drift, one time the question is came that genetic drift occurs in. Question was genetic drift occurs in small populations, large population, H. Hardy-Weinberg population. Likewise, there are options. So the answer was small population. So this type of forces will be in small population only, and this is due to the sampling fluctuations that is known as genetic drift. Okay. Now genetic drift is what? Gene frequency drifts. Means it will change randomly from one generation to another generation. It is known as genetic drift. It will change from one generation to another generation due to a small population, due to not following the Hardy-Weinberg law, and due to gene frequency will not constant from generation to generation. So that's why this genetic drift will occur. Now we will start with first, that is mutation. What is mutation? What is mutation?
Sudden change in genes.
Yes. So any sudden change in hereditary material and it can be either by natural process or artificial means is known as mutation. Artificially, like now if I have changed the chemical constituent from something, means we are giving some UV rays from outside, we are doing some x-rays from outside, doing x-rays and all, so that will be the artificial mean. And natural process means by natural process mutation is occurring. For example, suppose you have seen that there are too many syndromes are there in the kids, Klinefelter syndromes, or likewise Downey syndrome is also there. So too many syndromes are there, then and their frequency is very low. Means we can say that in thousand and lakhs of population, only one or two kids that get that mutation. That someone is having joint fingers, some animals is having two heads and all. Likewise, so these are the mutation. So that can be due to natural process or due to our artificial means. Okay, so this product of this change, I can say that the result of mutation is known as mutant. Okay, suppose I am having some mutation, so I will be called as mutant. Okay, some animal is having mutation, so that particular animal will called as, this is the mutant of this particular genes and all. Okay, so this is called as mutant. Now what are the reasons that of mutation? It can be high temperature, heat treatment. These are the artificial means. X-rays, or I can say UV rays, chemicals, and natural changes. Have you seen that old X-ray machines? Old X-ray machine, what they do during the X-rays, they wear some apron. Means their specially designed kit is there. They have to wear that, so that X-rays will not go inside to the person who is doing that X-ray. So that's why, because that person will do so many X-rays in a day, but patient is going only one time. So there will be X-rays in that X-ray room. So for avoiding that, they have issued a special kit for them, so to avoid these X-rays. Otherwise, there will be some distortion in that particular person. So that's why they have provide this. Okay, just like PPE kit. Nowadays, it is in very much in useful. So next is a mutation affecting the chemical composition of individual gene is termed as point mutation. Suppose mutation which is affecting chemical composition of individual genes, that is known as point mutation. So this name is given to just to differentiate from the generalized term, that mutation which is affecting one or more segment of the chromosome. So this is known as chromosomal mutation, or it is also known as chromosomal aberration. So these two types of there are these two type point mutation. If the particular individuals is having chemical composition affecting, then it is known as point mutation. And one or more segment of the chromosome is affecting, then it is known as chromosomal mutation or chromosomal aberration. Now there are two type of mutation again, that is non-recurrent mutation and recurrent mutation. So non-recurrent mutation, suppose this A individual is there, okay, and one of its A gene, suppose this gene is mutates to A, small a. So what we will get in this capital A small a, this is homozygous, and this is heterozygous. Okay, but this will happening only single time. Single copy will be created of this in whole population. See the difference, see the key point of this. It will be only single copy in this whole population. Then, and small a is what? Mutant allele. Okay, so this is happening only one time. So such an event which is repeated neither over space nor over time. So I can write such event which is repeated neither over space nor over time is called non-recurrent. Mutation. Okay, so this will not repeat again. Only one time this will happen, and I suppose that one gene, this allele change into the small a, and this is small a is not known as mutant allele now. Okay, now this mutant allele will present in heterozygous. So suppose I exclude selfing, sorry, I exclude selfing and I did the cross of heterozygous to the homozygous. Okay, so here my gametes will be capital A, small a, and here only capital A. So the offspring will be capital A, and capital A, small a. So I can say in next generation, 50% progeny will carry mutant gene or mutant allele. Okay, so this 50%, because this 1:1 ratio is there, so this will there is this small a, so 50% progeny will carry the mutant allele, and this is known as non-recurrent mutation. This will happening only one in the lifetime, so that is non-recurrent mutation. Okay, now next one is recurrent mutation. So mutation that occurs repeatedly. Mutation that occurs repeatedly in the population which is known as recurrent mutation, and this mutation will lost after few generation. Suppose it is started initially it was there in the population, so after generation it will lost. So because the frequency will be reduced in next to next likewise. So one means this will finish, but it may be happen that in this generation again mutation occurs. Okay, this is suppose first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation. So now this here in initial mutation was there and it is reducing generation by generation, but as this recurrent mutation is repeatedly, so suppose this is happening again in this population, so this is having the mutation, so this will carry forward to the next generation likewise. So it is repeatedly there in the population. Now suppose capital A mutates to small a, and with the mutation frequency mu, and in nth generation the frequency of this is Pn. I am writing n for nth generation, and their frequency will be Qn. Okay, mu is constant from generation to generation. So this mu, this rate of mutation is constant. Now, in n plus 1th generation, see, this is mutates, A is mutate to small a. Okay, so here if I see that here mu, this is changing into this, so I can write this mu Pn is going here, isn't it? So this is changing, capital A is changing in small a. So I can write from Pn, it will be changing with the mutation rate. So this will be mu Pn minus, and in Q, it will be added. It will increase the frequency. Okay, got it or not? Got it or not? With this rate, capital A is mutate into the small a. So this proportion of mu into Pn will be added into the gene frequency of small a. And from this, it will be reduced mu into Pn. Okay. Is there any doubt? So I can write A will lost mu Pn genes due to the mutation, and small a will gain mu Pn genes. So this is gain and loss in the mutation. Now if I write in the tabular form, so this will be a small a and genes, and this is nth generation, this is n plus 1th generation, this is Pn earlier, this is Qn earlier, this is Pn minus mu Pn, and this is Qn plus mu Pn. Okay. Now if I want to find the change in gene frequency from one generation to another generation, then Qn plus 1 is what? Qn plus mu Pn. Okay. See here, Qn plus 1 is what? This Qn plus mu Pn. So this is Qn and plus mu 1 minus Qn. So this will be mu plus, see here, Qn minus mu Qn. So mu plus 1 minus mu Qn. So this is for this generation. Likewise, if I calculate mu Qn plus 2, Qn plus 3, likewise, we can calculate our estimated generation n hat. I am writing directly 1 upon mu ln 1 minus q naught upon 1 minus Qn. This is important formula. That it can be asked that in how many generation equilibrium will happen. How many generation equilibrium will be there in case of mutation. So we can say that this is the initial frequency and this is the frequency after n generation. Frequency after n generation. Okay, so question is, if I take one question, that how long would mutation take to reduce P? How long would mutation take to reduce P from 0.9 to 0.1? So it is given in the form of P from 0.9. So I can say that this initial frequency of P is 0.9 and Pn is 0.1. And I have made the formula in terms of Q, or you can say that this is 1 minus Q is P0 and 1 minus Qn is Pn. So the formula is n hat. This n hat is just estimated means number of generation. Okay, 1 upon mu generation required for generation requires to attain this hat represents 1 upon u and ln 1 minus q, that is p0, that is 0.9 upon 0.1, and mu, and in question mu is given as 10 to the power minus 6, that is the rate of mutation, that is very low. So we can say 10 to the power minus 6 ln did I do some mistake? 1 minus 0.0 from this to this. Okay, okay, no problem. So this will be ln 9. So we will calculate the log value and we will see that 10 to the power 6, what will be the ln 9? Just let me check. ln 9 is 2.19. So 2.19 into 10 to the power 6. So I can say approximately 2.2 million generation will require to get from 0.9 gene frequency to 0.1. Okay, so this type of question can come in the examination, that how long would the mutation will take place, the equilibrium, and how long this 0.9 to it the frequency will reduce from 0.9 to 0.1. Okay, got it? Any doubt? हो सकते हो, is there any doubt then? Now we will see the change of gene frequency, change in gene frequency, that delta q, this is change in gene frequency, and change we will see that from next generation, q n plus 1 minus q n. Okay, this is nth generation and this is n plus 1th generation, and I know this is what q n plus mu pn and minus qn. So this will cancel out and this will be mu pn. Or mu 1 minus q. So this is my change in gene frequency. Now at the time of equilibrium, this change delta q will be 0. So I can write delta 0 is equal to mu minus mu qn. Okay, then this mu qn is equal to mu, so this will be cancelled out, so we can say mu n should be 1 at the time of equilibrium. Okay, so this is all about the change in gene frequency and number of generation required, and this is the formula for n generation, and this is regarding our forward mutation. I can say this is forward mutation. Now I will tell you what is this forward. From A to A, it is changing with the mutation rate mu. Now see the backward mutation. If we see, consider backward mutation. So A is changing to small a with the rate of mutation mu. Now a small a is changing to the capital A with the mutation rate V. Okay, so this is known as, this one is known as forward mutation, and this is known as backward mutation. Backward mutation. Okay, now this is the changing rate of changing from A to small a and from small a to capital A. Now this the rate of backward mutation is always less from the, so I can write is always less from the, this rate of mutation for backward mutation is always less than to the rate of mutation from in the forward mutation, and we can say that will be the 1/10 of mu. So this will always less than to the mutation rate into the forward mutation. Now this capital A, small a, our alleles before mutation, the frequency is P and here Q. Now tell me what will be the frequency after mutation if we consider forward as well as backward both. Now who will tell? Kaushal.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what will be the frequency after mutation if we consider both the forward as well as backward mutation.
सर एक की हो जाएगी P माइनस म्यू P प्लस न्यू न्यू Q.
And
एक की हो जाए Q प्लस म्यू P माइनस न्यू Q.
because from here, from A to A, this is going with the rate mu and P. This will be minus from here, but it is adding in the A, and from here, okay. So that's why this after mutation, the gene frequency will be remain with this. Now for small allele, if I calculate for allele small a, so delta Q will be, the change in gene frequency will be, earlier the frequency is Q, and after that it will be minus Q plus mu P minus nu Q or VQ, simply if I write. So Q minus Q minus mu P plus I wrote it oppositely. Just a minute. It will be this minus this. So Q plus mu P minus nu Q minus Q. So this Q will cancel out, mu P minus VQ. Okay, this is delta Q, change in frequency. So I can write it delta Q is equal to gain minus loss. Okay, so mu P is what? Mu P is gain for this. If I write gain here, so mu P is gain for small a and this is loss for small a. Okay, so this is gain and loss, the delta Q, then this difference or change in gene frequency is equal to gain minus loss. So this is my gain, and this is for allele small a, and this is gain. Okay, now if I can tell that if Q is increasing, now Q will increase, then this difference will reduce. So I can say this loss will increase. If Q is increasing, then I can say loss is also increasing. Okay, just like if gain is increasing, increasing, if this gain will increase, it means our delta Q is more. Okay, the difference is more. If difference is more, it means gain is more. So these are some result. So this process continues until amount of loss per generation with valence in the gain and the loss. If gain and loss is same, then we can say that the population comes into the equilibrium. So I can say, right, if delta Q is equal to 0, so this mu P is equal to VQ. So this mu 1 minus Q is equal to this mu minus mu Q is equal to Q. So mu will be equals to, if I take this mu, this will equals to Q mu plus V. So this Q hat is mu upon mu plus V. So this is the frequency of small a allele at the time of equilibrium. Okay, similarly P will be V upon mu plus V. So this hat sign is not the estimated, but this is representing equilibrium. So this Q hat is the gene frequency of small a allele at the time of equilibrium, and this is the gene frequency of capital A at the time of equilibrium. Okay, so we can say that the gene frequency of at equilibrium is not depend on our initial frequencies. See here, it is in the terms of only the mutation rate mu and V. It is not depending on the initial gene frequency. So it, whatever be the initial frequency, we can calculate our gene frequency at the time of equilibrium. Okay, so this is all about your mutation. Now we will see one important question and we will finish today's class. Now see this delta Q, we have seen that this is mu P minus VQ, and if I change this, if I change this P is equal to 1 minus Q minus VQ, then this mu minus mu Q minus VQ, and this is mu. If I take common Q, then it will be mu plus V. Okay, this is delta Q. Now see this mu, and I know that the frequency of this Q hat is equal to, at the time of equilibrium, is mu upon mu plus V. Now if I change this mu in Q hat terms, that is mu plus V, so this will be delta Q is equal to Q hat mu plus V minus Q mu plus V. Okay, so this will be, if I take this common, so this will be Q hat minus Q into mu plus V. So this is delta Q. Now this will change generation to generation. This is for, I have taken for a single generation. So this difference, this deviation will change generation to generation. So this is very small quantity. Delta Q is very small quantity. So I can take this as differential. So by taking this differential, I can calculate the number of generations which is required. So if for n generation, I will calculate this difference. So I will get the formula directly. I am writing n that is mu plus v ln q0 minus q hat upon qn minus q hat, this. Okay, just like again, just like similar, I have taken this formula, that how many generation it will require to get in the mutation. 1 upon mu ln 1 minus q0, that is the initial frequency, and upon 1 minus qn, that is nth generation frequency. So here similarly, on the basis of our this mutation rate, and this is what, this is the frequency at equilibrium. So on this basis we can calculate. Now we will see one question. Suppose this mu is given 0.0005 and v is given 0.0015, and our initial P0 is given 0.80 initial frequency, and this is Q0 is given 0.20. Now number of generation requires for Q to increase from number of generations requires for Q to increase from 0.20 to 0.21, means only 0.01 frequency is increasing here. See, only 0.01 frequency is changing. Now this is, I can say this is my initial frequency and this is my next generation frequency, means maybe it will be nth generation. So this is my Q0 and this is my Qn. Okay, now I don't know what, how many generation it will attain, so I have to calculate this n value, and Q0 is, we have given that 0.20. Now we will calculate our estimate. This is the frequency at the time of equilibrium. So this will be mu upon mu plus v. Okay, so this, all the values has been given in the example. That will be 0.005 plus 0.0015, and if I directly write it, then this will be 0.25. Okay, so this value is given as 0.25. We have calculated it. Now the formula of n is 1 upon mu plus v. 1 upon mu plus v, ln, that's logarithmic value, and formula is q0 minus q hat, that is q0 minus q hat upon qn minus q hat. Okay, so this is 0.0020 ln 0.20 minus 0.25 from here, and this is 0.21, because our, and we are seeing that how many generation it will get, this 0.21. So the difference is only 0.01, means to increase the frequency with the 0.01, how many generation it will take. So we will calculate this 0.25, that will be, so I will calculate this, and 1 2 3 4, so this will come 500. So 500 ln, and this will be minus 0.05 and minus 0.04. So this will cancel out 5 by 4. Now I will see this log value of 5 by 4, and we will calculate, and we will see the 111 generation. So 111 means 111 generation will require to change from 0.20 frequency to the 0.21. Okay, कर लोगे? कोई doubt? Is there any doubt? So with this we have completed our mutation. Now in next class I will covered this migration and selection. Okay, with this I am stopping here today. We will meet in next weekend. Okay then, bye bye.